The desolate landscape of Elysia stretched out before Captain Darius Hunter, a once thriving planet now reduced to ruins and sorrow. The skies, which once gleamed with the brilliance of twin suns, were now obscured by the smoke of countless fires. The war had been brutal, leaving behind a wasteland of shattered dreams and lost lives. Darius, clad in his battered combat armor, trudged through the remains of what had once been a bustling city center. His eyes, hardened by years of conflict, softened as he glanced around at the scattered remnants of Elysian culture. Statues of great leaders lay broken, their once proud faces now cracked and marred by the ravages of battle. The human had fought valiantly alongside his Elysian allies, hoping to fend off the relentless onslaught of the Virgan Empire, but the Empire's war machines had proved too powerful, their strategies too ruthless. The Elysians, a race of peaceful beings known for their wisdom and technological prowess, had been no match for the Virgan ferocity. As Darius navigated the debris-strewn streets, he heard a faint sound, a soft, plaintive cry that cut through the silence like a knife. He followed the sound, weaving through the rubble, until he reached a makeshift shelter formed from the remnants of a collapsed building. Inside, he found the Elysian children, their eyes wide with fear and confusion, their skin a pale blue that shimmered faintly in the dim light. These were the orphans of Elysia, abandoned and forgotten amidst the chaos of war. Darius knelt beside one of the children, a small boy clutching a spherical device that glowed softly in his hands. The boy looked up at him with tear-filled eyes, his voice barely a whisper. "Are you here to help us?" The captain's heart ached to sight. "Yes," he said, his voice firm but gentle. "I'm here to help." He took the boy into his arms, cradling him gently. The other children, seeing this act of kindness, began to gather around, their hope rekindled by the presence of this lone human. Darius knew he couldn't leave them here, not like this. With a renewed sense of purpose, Darius set to work. He gathered the children and led them through the ruins, avoiding patrols of Virgan soldiers who still roamed the area. His mind raced with plans, trying to figure out how to get them to safety. The Elysians had once told him of hidden bunkers beneath the city, places where their people could find refuge in times of crisis. After hours of searching, they finally found one of these bunkers, concealed beneath a dilapidated structure that had once been a grand hall. Darius activated the entrance using the boy's device, which turned out to be a key of sorts crafted by the Elysians to safeguard their most precious secrets. Inside the bunker was a stark contrast to the devastation above. It was a haven of advanced technology and comfort, a testament to Elysian ingenuity. The children looked around in awe, their fear momentarily forgotten. Darius knew they were safe for now, but the reality of their situation weighed heavily on him. They were still deep within enemy territory, and he was just one man. He needed to find a way to contact the human fleet, to bring reinforcements that could rescue these children and take them to safety. Days turned into weeks as Darius cared for the children, teaching them basic survival skills and trying to keep their spirits up. He made forays into the ruins to scavenge for supplies, always mindful of the ever-present threat of Virgan patrols. One evening, as the children slept, Darius sat by the entrance of the bunker, staring out at the night sky. The stars seemed so distant, a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the smallness of their plight. Yet, amidst the darkness, he felt a glimmer of hope. He reached for his communication device, hoping against hope that he could reach someone, anyone, who could help. The static crackled ominously, but then a voice came through, faint but clear. "This is Admiral Jensen of the Human Federation Fleet. Identify yourself." Darius's heart leapt. "This is Captain Darius Hunter, stranded on Elysia with Elysian survivors. We need immediate extraction." There was a pause. Then the Admiral's voice returned, stronger this time. "Hold your position, Captain. Help is on the way." Darius closed his eyes, relief washing over him. They were not alone. The children would be saved. As he sat there, he felt a small hand on his shoulder. It was the boy, the one who had first spoken to him. "Thank you," the boy said, his voice filled with gratitude. Darius smiled, ruffling the boy's hair. "We humans stick together," he said softly. "No one gets left behind." The dawn broke over Elysia, casting its first light on a new day, and with it came the promise of hope. The dawn of a new beginning for the orphans of Elysia and their human protector. The sun rose over Elysia, casting long shadows over the devastated landscape. Captain Darius Hunter, though weary from countless sleepless nights, felt a renewed sense of determination. The children were safe for now, but he knew that the real challenge was just beginning. The Vorgan Empire would not stop until they had obliterated every last trace of Elysian existence. Darius spent the early hours of the morning fortifying the bunker's defenses. He set up improvised traps and motion sensors scavenged from the ruins above, hoping to buy them precious time in the event of an attack. The children, sensing his urgency, helped as best they could, their small hands steady despite the weight of their burden. By mid-morning, Darius had finished his preparations. He gathered the children in the central chamber of the bunker, its walls adorned with the soft glow of Elysian technology. "Listen up, everyone," he said, his voice echoing in the silence. "We need to stay hidden and quiet. The Vorgan are still out there, and they won't hesitate to find us." One of the older children, a girl named Lyra, stepped forward. "What happens when the humans come for us?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Darius knelt to her level, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "When they come, we'll be ready. Until then, we must stay strong and look out for each other. We are a team, and teams survive by working together." Lyra nodded, her resolve hardening. The other children followed suit, their fear tempered by the captain's unwavering confidence. The next few days passed in a tense rhythm of routine and vigilance. Darius continued his expeditions to the surface, always returning with food and supplies. Each night he would check his communication device, listening for any updates from Admiral Jensen. But the silence was often unbroken, leaving him to wonder if their message had truly been received. One evening, as Darius prepared to make another supply run, Lyra approached him. "Captain, can I come with you?" she asked, her eyes filled with determination. Darius hesitated. "It's dangerous out there, Lyra. I can't guarantee your safety." "I know," she replied, her voice steady, "but I want to help. I can be useful." Seeing the resolve in her eyes, Darius nodded. "All right, stay close to me and follow my lead." They ventured out into the twilight, the city's ruins casting eerie shadows in the fading light. Darius led Lyra through the desolate streets, pointing out landmarks and potential dangers. She absorbed every word, though, her sharp mind working to memorize their surroundings. As they scavenged for supplies, they came across a small group of Vurigan soldiers patrolling a nearby sector. Darius quickly pulled Lyra into a concealed alcove, his heart pounding as the soldiers passed by, their guttural language echoing in the stillness. Once the danger had passed, Darius whispered, "We need to be more careful. The Vurigan are increasing their patrols." Lyra nodded, her expression serious. "We'll get through this, Captain." "I know we will." Back at the bunker, Darius and Lyra shared their findings with the other children. The food and medical supplies were a welcome sight, lifting the group's spirits. As they settled in for the night, Darius felt a glimmer of hope. These children were resilient, and with their help, he believed they could survive until the Federation's arrival. One night, as Darius sat by the bunker entrance, his communication device crackled to life. He scrambled to adjust the settings, his heart racing. "This is Admiral Jensen. Do you read me, Captain Hunter?" Darius's voice was filled with relief. "Admiral, we're here. The children are safe, but the Vurigan presence is strong. We need immediate extraction." "Understood, Captain. We're dispatching a rescue team to your coordinates. Hold tight and keep a low profile." Darius thanked the Admiral and ended the transmission. He turned to find Lyra standing nearby, a hopeful look on her face. "Is help coming?" she asked. He nodded. "Yes, they're on their way. We just need to stay hidden a little longer." The following days were a blur of activity. Darius and the older children prepared for the arrival of the rescue team, organizing supplies and rehearsing evacuation plans. The younger children, sensing the excitement and tension, did their best to stay out of the way. Finally, the day arrived. The Federation rescue team signaled their approach, and Darius led the children to the designated extraction point. As they emerged from the bunker, the sight of the Federation dropships descending from the sky filled them with awe and relief. The rescue team, clad in advanced combat armor, quickly secured the area. Darius greeted their leader, a stern-faced officer named Commander Reyes. "Captain Hunter, it's an honor to meet you. We're here to get you and the children to safety." Darius nodded. "Thank you, Commander. We've been through a lot." The children were quickly ushered aboard the dropships, their eyes wide with wonder at the sight of the advanced technology. As the last child boarded, Darius took one final look at the ruins of Elysia. This planet, once a beacon of peace and progress, was now a symbol of resilience and hope. As the dropships lifted off, Darius felt a sense of closure. They had survived against all odds, and now they were heading to safety. The children, though orphaned and scarred by war, would have a chance at a new life. And Darius, their protector and guardian, knew that his mission was far from over. The fight against the Virgan Empire would continue, but for now, they had won a small but significant victory. The dropship soared through the atmosphere, leaving behind the desolation of Elysia. The stars beckoned, a promise of new beginnings and endless possibilities. And amidst the vastness of space, Darius Hunter knew that as long as there were those who stood up for what was right, hope would never be lost. The Federation dropships navigated through the stars, each passing moment taking them further from the ruins of Elysia. Captain Darius Hunter sat in the cockpit beside Commander Reyes, his eyes scanning the vast expanse of space. The hum of the engines and the soft beeping of the ship's instruments provided a stark contrast to the chaos they had left behind. Commander Reyes broke the silence, her voice calm but authoritative. "We'll be arriving at the Federation space station in a few hours. The children will be taken to a safe haven, and you'll have the opportunity to debrief with Admiral Jensen." Darius nodded, his mind already shifting to the next steps. "Thank you, Commander. These children have been through a lot. They deserve a chance to rebuild their lives." Reyes gave a small, understanding smile. "We'll make sure they get that chance, Captain. The Federation takes care of its own." As the dropship continued its journey, Darius took a moment to check on the children. They sat in groups, their faces reflecting a mix of exhaustion and relief. Lyra, the girl who had bravely accompanied him on the surface, looked up and smiled as he approached. "How are you holding up?" Darius asked, crouching beside her. Lyra nodded, her eyes bright despite the fatigue. "We're okay. It's just a lot to take in." Darius squeezed her shoulder gently. "I know, but we're safe now. The Federation will help us." She nodded again, her trust in him unwavering. "What will happen to us, Captain?" "We'll find a new home for you all," he reassured her. "A place where you can grow and learn, away from the war." Hours later, the dropships docked at the Federation space station, a massive structure orbiting a lush green planet. As they disembarked, the children marveled at the bustling activity around them. Federation personnel moved with purpose, with their uniforms a mix of various colors denoting different departments and ranks. Admiral Jensen, a tall, imposing figure with graying hair and a stern but kind expression, approached Darius as he stepped off the dropship. "Captain Hunter, it's good to see you," Jensen said, extending a hand. Darius shook it firmly. "Admiral, thank you for responding so quickly. These children owe their lives to the Federation." Jensen nodded, his gaze shifting to the children who were being guided towards a designated area for medical checkups and initial processing. "We do what we can, Captain. Let's get you debriefed, and then we'll discuss the next steps." Darius followed Jensen through the station's corridors, his mind still on the children. The Admiral led him to a private conference room where they could speak without interruption. "Sit down," Darius Jensen said, gesturing to a chair. "You've done an incredible job. Now, tell me everything." Darius recounted the events that had transpired on Elysia, detailing the brutal Virgan assault, the desperate fight to save the children, and their harrowing escape. Jensen listened intently, his expression grave. "We underestimated the Virgan resolve," Jensen said after a moment of silence. "Their tactics are becoming more ruthless. They're not just targeting military installations anymore," Darius said. "They're going after civilians, trying to break our morale." Jensen nodded. "Which is why we need to hit back harder. But first, we need to ensure these children are safe and cared for." The debriefing concluded with a plan. The children would be relocated to a Federation colony known for its safety and strong community support. It was a place where they could begin to heal and build new lives, far from the horrors they had experienced. After the meeting, Darius was given a brief respite. He wandered the station, taking in the advanced technology and the diverse crew members from various planets. He eventually found his way to the observation deck, where he could look out over the planet below. Lyra found him there, her steps hesitant, but her presence a welcome comfort. "Captain, are we going to be all right?" she asked, standing beside him. Darius smiled down at her. "Yes, Lyra, we're going to be just fine. The Federation is here to help, and we have each other." She nodded, her eyes reflecting a mix of hope and uncertainty. "Will you stay with us?" Darius looked out at the stars, the weight of his responsibilities pressing down on him. "I'll stay for as long as I can, but I have duties to fulfill. The fight against the Virgan isn't over." Lyra understood, her young face showing a maturity beyond her years. Then we'll be strong, like you taught us. Darius ruffled her hair affectionately. That's the spirit. The next day, preparations were made for the children's transfer to the colony. Darius, along with a team of Federation personnel, ensured that everything was in place for their journey. The children, though still weary from their ordeal, showed remarkable resilience as they boarded the transport ship that would take them to their new home. Before they left, Darius gathered the children for a final meeting. Remember, you are not alone, he said, his voice carrying the weight of his promise. You have each other. And you have the Federation. This is a new beginning for all of you. Lyra stepped forward, representing the children. Thank you, Captain Hunter, for everything. Darius nodded, his heart swelling with pride and affection. Take care of each other, and never forget that you are stronger than you think. The transport ship departed, and Darius watched it until it disappeared from sight. He felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing that he had made a difference in their lives. But he also knew that his work was far from over. Admiral Jensen found him in the hangar, his expression thoughtful. You did good, Darius. Those children owe you their lives. They deserved a chance, Darius replied. And now they have one. Jensen nodded. We could use more people like you in this fight. The Vorrigan won't stop, and we need every capable officer we can get. Darius looked at the Admiral, his resolve firm. I'm ready, Admiral. Whatever it takes to protect the innocent and stop the Vorrigan, I'm in. Jensen clapped him on the shoulder. Good to hear, Captain. We have a lot of work ahead of us. As they walked away, the weight of their mission pressed upon them, but amidst the darkness, there was a spark of hope. For as long as there were those willing to stand up and fight for what was right, the light would never be extinguished. And so Darius Hunter continued his journey. A guardian of hope in a galaxy torn apart by war, determined to bring peace and justice to all who needed it.